Hi, my name is Jesse, and I will be talking about Enka. Enka is a sentimental ballad form from Japan. It is known for evoking feelings of nostalgia, heartbreak, and longing in its listeners. Today I'll be talking about that genre. Now, why did I choose this genre? Well, Enka is a very nostalgic genre for me. I remember when I was a child, I would go grocery shopping with my parents and family. We would go to Marukai, and over the speakers, I would listen to Enka music. It is very nostalgic for me, and it invokes good memories I had as a kid. And coincidentally, this is the whole purpose of Enka. Like I said before, and multiple times now, Enka is a very nostalgic genre, and I can personally attest to that. I have experience with that. Now, where is Enka from? Well, it is from Japan, of course. Now, I don't know about other genres, but for Enka, the question of origin is definitely very important to the genre. Enka prides itself on being a very Japanese music with a very Japanese heart, and it's good to know where it's from. Now, moving on, we're really getting into it here. What are the characteristics of Enka? Well, Enka uses two primary scales, and these are the Yonanuki major and the Yonanuki minor scales. Both of these scales are pentatonic scales with no fourth or seventh degree. Now, the reason they're pentatonic is because at the time, during the Meiji Restoration period, Japan wanted to catch up with Western music, and they realized that a lot of Western music used pentatonic scales, so Japan tried to change its music to use more pentatonic scales. Enka features a melismatic vocal style, which means that multiple pitches are sung for one syllable. It features a 4/4 meter with no differentiation of stress among the beats. This means that there are no accents, no beats are emphasized, such as downbeats or upbeats. Enka is very uniform. Enka also features free rhythm, which means that essentially the words don't correspond to the beat. As an example, I would say you could listen to Western music. Popular rap and pop songs both sort of stretch out or shorten words so they match with the beat. Enka doesn't do this. And both of these characteristics, the uniformity and the free rhythm, both go hand in hand with Enka's very Japanese aesthetic. Because among Enka vocalists, the primary concern is to pronounce the words exactly as they're pronounced in Japanese language. They want to pronounce it as close and as well as possible. That means that they do not sort of change the words to fit the beat. They just pronounce the words as is. That's why those two characteristics are very important. Now, to get more in depth into the aesthetics, Enka's very traditional aesthetic. Enka singers typically wear kimonos, suits, and other formal or traditional attire. Moving on. Enka composers and musicians. We have three popular ones. First of which is going to be Hattori Ryoichi, Kasagi Shizuko, and Koga Masao. Now, Hattori Ryoichi was originally a jazz and sort of Western style composer. He wanted to combine the styles of jazz and classical music to make a sort of Asian jazz. He ended up composing the song Tokyo Boogie Woogie, which was actually a precursor to Enka music. It could be considered the first Enka song, but it didn't really have many Enka characteristics. For one, it was very upbeat and happy, as opposed to Enka's more traditional melancholy vibe. Tokyo Boogie Woogie would later be performed by Kasagi Shizuko in 1947. Now, Shizuko was a member of a girls group known as SSK. She was well known for her sort of sensuous act on stage while performing. She was also a huge inspiration for Misora Hibari, who would become known as the Queen of Enka. Lastly, we have Koga Masao. He was the composer who gave Enka its downbeat, melancholy feel. He's widely considered to be the very first Enka composer, as he's the first one to compose Enka in its current form. Here is a picture of Ryoichi. Here is a picture of Shizuko. And here's a picture of Masao. Now, how did this genre change over time? Originally, Enka was sort of known as Kayokyoku, which was an umbrella term that described that hybrid Japanese and Western style that was so popular in Japan at the time. However, as group changed, their taste changed, people started to like different things. The term split, and Kayok-yoku became the term for the music that was popular among the younger people. This was that hybrid Japanese-Western style. Enka became the term for the music favored by the older people. This music was more traditional. It was more Japanese. It had that feeling of nostalgia to it. And like I described in the earlier slide, going more into how it changed over time, it started off very upbeat with songs like Tokyo Boogie Woogie before becoming more melancholy and nostalgic. Now, is Enka a popular genre? At first glance, no, it is not that popular. As I said before, it appeals to the older generations, and the younger generations typically do not care much for it. However, every year, if you look at the chart for popular songs, there's always at least one Enka song in the top 10. So maybe it is more popular than it seems, perhaps. Maybe something about Enka appeals to people. Not just the older generations, but the younger generations as well. Who knows? Now, is Enka international? Yes, I would definitely say that Enka is international. First of all, it appeared in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill. It was featured as the end credit song. It was a very popular movie, and for Enka to appear in such a movie is very, very good for the genre as a whole. But I think one of the biggest examples of the popularity of Enka is Jero. Jerome Charles White Jr., known by his stage name Jero, was an African-American Enka singer from Pennsylvania. Now, typically, almost all Enka singers are not only from Japan, but Japanese as well. But Jero was from not Japan at all. And I think the fact that someone so far away from Japan could have Enka affect his life so much that he wanted to become an Enka singer really is a testament to how international the genre is. Here's a picture of Jero. Now, the future of Enka. At first glance, like I said before, it does not seem too hopeful. It appeals to the older generations. The younger generations don't really care much for it. And recent studies have shown that as these younger generations grow older, instead of sort of beginning to like Enka music, they want to prefer the music that they listened to when they were younger. However, there are many qualities of Enka that would state that it will survive. Enka's ability to adapt is one such quality. For example, how it adapted from its upbeat style to its melancholy style, maybe it will adapt once more to appeal to the new generation. The fact that there are singers like Jero is also a good testament to Enka's future. Maybe more singers will come in from outside of Japan, they will take the genre into as their own, they will revolutionize it, and they will sort of make it last. But all in all, though Enka does not seem very popular at the moment, there is a lot of hope that it will continue on. Finally, we will end off with the example of Enka. For the example, I chose Flowers of Carnage by Meiko Kaji, the song mentioned earlier. It was featured on Kill Bill. As a result, it became one of the most popular Enka songs out there, and it is also many people's first exposure to Enka music. Now, it is a very easy song to listen to. It sounds a lot like popular music, but you can still hear a lot of the qualities that I mentioned earlier. I think it's a great start. And like I said, it's many people's first exposure to Enka music. And I know that the vocal examples were supposed to be about 2 minutes, but I couldn't really figure out how to crop the song or download it, so I kind of just left it in there. I figured since it's the end of the presentation, you might want to listen to the full thing. Maybe, but in any case, I hope you enjoy my presentation, I hope you enjoyed the song, and I hope you enjoy Enka music. Thank you for listening, and here's the song.
抱きしめる蛇の目の傘ひとつ命の道を行く女涙はとに捨てました振り向いた川に遠ざかる旅の日がいてた鶴は動かず泣いた雨と風
And I'm going to cut it right there, because I guess I could cut it by just clicking on the screen. So here's my bibliography, and again, thank you so much for listening.